everybody. So let's start with a short introduction of your interlocutors. And so I will start with myself. So my name is Jean-Francois Petit. So I'm course director for the Advanced Master Aviation Safety Aircraft Airworthiness for ENAC. So ENAC is the French National School of for Civil Aviation, and it covers all domains of air transport, like airline operations, ATC, ATM, flight dispatchers, airports, etc. So I work at the Air Transport Directorate, and I'm in charge of the airworthiness domain as an airworthiness expert. So I'm teaching airworthiness and aircraft certification. And of course, I already said, so I'm sharing this Advanced Master Program with my colleague Joël Jézégou, who will introduce himself now.
So good afternoon to all of you. So my name is Joël Jézégou. So I am the Program Director for the Advanced Master Aviation Safety Aircraft Airworthiness. So at ISAE-SUPAERO. ISAE-SUPAERO being one of the leading aerospace university in the world, so mostly specialized in, I would say, air vehicle design, to make it simple. So I'm working in the Department of Aerospace Vehicles Design and Control, and my domains are aircraft airworthiness and safety and certification, of course, also aircraft maintenance and aircraft operation. And that's it, basically. And yes, I will also introduce Vincent Martin, who is not with us today, because this Advanced Master is organized with ENAC, with ISAE-SUPAERO, and with the French Air Force Academy. And so Captain or Commandant Vincent Martin is the head of the program on the French Air Force Academy, not with us today.
Okay, so let's start with a short overview of the scope of this Advanced Master Program. So this is basically to understand airworthiness and certification from design to operations within the international regulatory framework. So what does it mean? In fact, this means that it covers the entire life cycle of the aircraft, from project to end of service or removal from service. And of course, it will encompass initial certification, entry into service, operations, including maintenance, and also management of in-service events. So this is really, let's say, as I said, covering the entire life cycle of the aircraft. And what is important, I will repeat it, in an international regulatory framework, it's because during this program, the students have the opportunity to work in the different regulatory systems. Of course, we will focus on the European one, but you will experience as well the FAA, the American or the US system, and some others, like the Chinese one, in India as well. So this is something we do because that's, of course, something you will have to do in your future work of job of airworthiness engineer. So I will give the speech to Joël now for more detailed overview of all the disciplines that are covered. So Joël.
Yes, Jean-Francois, before I give my speech, can you just put the presentation in full screen mode?
I will try.
Because as for now, we can only see the PowerPoint window.
Is it okay?
Yes,
fine?
Perfect. It's better.
Good.
Okay, so certification, yes, and airworthiness activities, so they are quite essential to design and operate safe aircraft, safe systems. So working in this domain is definitely an engineering job that will combine aeronautical competencies, regulatory skills for the final purpose of safety. So this is an engineering job where you will daily put into practice your technical knowledge, for sure. This is an engineering job where you can find your perfect match with airframe or engines or systems or components with various aircraft architectures to work on. So you can see just some examples on the window, on the slide. So one of the main aircraft architecture where you will find some jobs, of course, it's conventional aircraft architectures, typically an Airbus, a Boeing, a Dassault Aviation aircraft, those kind of conventional architectures. But this is also a very exciting engineering job when dealing with new technologies. This is what we are facing today. Because safety and certification challenges, they are key topics on the road to low emission aviation, to the introduction of new technologies, of innovations. So I talk about, for example, electric aviation, hydrogen aircraft, urban air mobility, vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, artificial intelligence, digitalization, and others. Okay. So we have, if I try to summarize my speech, engineering job based on very strong technical aeronautical knowledge, strong knowledge about regulatory systems that are in place, and safety objectives, various activities. If you want to work in this field, you will find a place for you depending on what you want to do, to work on engine, on aircraft, on systems, you will find a place. And very interesting journey that we are facing today. It's about innovation in aviation. So engineers have always contributed to make aviation safe, and now you can contribute to this long history with the skills that will be delivered in this advanced master. If you can switch to the next slide, Jean-Francois, please.
Yes, I can. Voilà.
Yes, you will. Okay. So this program is designed to deliver the skills that are expected from employers. And to make it very clear, employers are involved in designing the content of the program. So we know inside ENAC, inside SUPAERO, inside the French Air Force Academy, we know what is expected from the industry or from the safety authorities. So the program is designed to fulfill their needs. Okay. Our objective is to train, to guide all our students to be professionally operational on day one after recruitment. So we really want to train professional engineers that are operational very quickly. As certification engineers, airworthiness engineers, safety engineers. And our experience shows that most of our graduates got a job in this domain very quickly after graduation, or quite often even before graduation. We have many students that got a job before graduating. And most of them are still working in this airworthiness or certification field since their graduation. The current job market in this field is excellent, with many existing opportunities. So it's joining this master is a very good opportunity to get an interesting job in aviation. So take your chance. So job opportunities are various within aircraft, engines, systems manufacturers or their suppliers. Within airlines also, within operators, generally speaking, and of course within aviation safety authorities. So I will leave the floor to Marco Bovolin and Maxime Albertini, two ASAA graduates, not so young, but still young, young graduates. And so they will share their experience with us. Why do they select the Advanced Master? Why do they attend this program? And then the starting points of their career after attending the program. So Marco, the floor is yours. I think you will be the first to start.
Yes. So we welcome Marco Bovolin from EASA. Marco.
Thank you very much, Jean-Francois and Joël. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marco Bovolin. I'm currently a junior PCM, so Project Certification Manager for VTOL, specifically drones, here at EASA. I'm giving this contribution, let's say, on a personal basis. So this is not an EASA position. I'm doing this because I really I want to express my appreciation toward the programs and the training that I received during Master ASA. So I would start my intervention, my speech, with a short introduction of what is airworthiness. So one might shortly define it as a measure of an aircraft's suitability for safe flight. Now, I believe that safety is probably the single most important asset in aviation industry. You might be fast, but if it's not safe, you won't have many passengers, and you will not have. People won't be happy of having flying objects over their heads. So, how did I get into airworthiness? What do I like about airworthiness? I actually found out about this topic during my bachelor, and therefore I then decided to keep doing this, to keep developing my skills and my knowledge in the field. In particular, I was interested in the fact that airlines do analyze technical parameters of engines and other aircraft parameters. Like, for example, the exhaust gas temperature over time, and in this way, one could predict when to do maintenance, when to expect some sort of, to anticipate failures, and potentially move or rotate the aircraft somewhere else to increase the time between overhauls. To me, it was extremely interesting because it is multidisciplinary. You will have metallurgy, structures, operations, different kind of maths to some extent. So it is a very technical job, but it's the union of several disciplines. And to me, it is an engineering job, and it's very interesting. And additionally, it has, of course, a very direct impact on the safety of passengers and overflown people and the crew, as well as aircraft design and operation. There are certification requirements, and an aircraft to be allowed to fly European airspace, but anywhere in the world, must respect certification requirements. So it is certification does shape actually the design of the aircraft itself, as well, of course, as its operation, minimum flight altitude, maximum flight altitude, and so on. And to me, also airworthiness, because of this multidisciplinarity, it's the best way to have an overall, a comprehensive view on the aircraft and its operation and the environment in which the aircraft lives. You will have to know how the aircraft is operated. What does the pilot do? What does the maintenance people do? What does how the aircraft site, the entire aviation. So I found extremely useful in Master ASA is that the courses are very well structured and practical because they are taught by people that actually do this every day. They are professionals and different and the course is well structured, meaning you will hear many professionals talking about structure certification, system certification, certification procedures. So you'll have a broad overview from helicopters to drones to say large aircraft like S-25 aircraft. But you will receive that knowledge in a structured way. Of course, you could learn those things in the industry, but it would take you 5-10 years. Within this course, you have in 6 months a really high density knowledge about aircraft certification and airworthiness in general. Then there is another, I would say, significant advantage, the fact that the master is mainly based in European aerospace capital, which is Toulouse. So of course you will breathe aviation in the city, in the universities. There are many aviation university in Toulouse, and you will meet many of your future colleagues as well. In my professional life in the past 3 years, I've met many colleagues from ENAC in different parts of the industry. And now that I'm in the authority, we do work together as let's say, counterparts at times. So also, as a young student, I might mention there is a vibrant nightlife in Toulouse. So there is an additional chance for networking and bonding with your future colleagues. So that's to me a big plus. I'd ask kindly to move to the next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. So what do we do in airworthiness? Because this is, in my opinion, very important, because I get the feeling that sometimes people think that airworthiness is just a bunch of paperwork. It's not. So we might divide the set of activities in two parts: initial airworthiness and continuing airworthiness. Initial airworthiness is what happens before the aircraft, basically the aircraft exists, it's produced and it flies. There is a lot of tests, analysis, different kind of tests that have been carried out. So here in the slides, I'm presenting the structural test on the wing of an A350, if I'm not mistaken, as well as the thermal runaway test of lithium batteries. So all these things are done way before the first flight. There are, of course, other tests that are done during the flight test campaign at the beginning. And again, it's multidisciplinary. You will have flight performances, structures, construction principles, power plants, systems or avionics and equipment in general, hydromechanical systems. You need to understand a little bit of all of them and then put them together to have a safe machine. So you will pay a lot of attention, we do pay a lot of attention to small details. We always have this, what if this goes wrong mindset. So at the end of the initial airworthiness activities, we move on. So we have a certified aircraft, fantastic, we can sell it, we can fly it. But then, so what? We have moved, let's say, to the continuing airworthiness side. So we keep a look on all the occurrences that happen. There might be crashes, near misses, there might be trends that we try to analyze. Actually, aircraft manufacturer, operators, maintenance organization, production organization, authorities, the legal obligation to collect and analyze all these occurrences. So you need technical expertise to understand whether this is, where is the issue, what happened exactly there. And again, there are, I would say, interesting design. I thought of this historical one from 1940s. We had lots of B-17 bombers that were crashing at takeoff and landing. So they increased the training of the pilots, but still the pilots were having a mistake. They were confusing basically the landing gear lever with the flaps lever. So they basically had just to switch the knobs, and the moment they did that, the accident disappeared. Well, almost disappeared. So just by analyzing what happened during the life of the aircraft, we could amend the design to achieve a higher level of safety. And yeah, I hope that within these few minutes, I managed to give you a kind of an overview of what is done in certification. I would like to conclude with, right? So, to wrap up what you said, and I think Joël did a very good introduction. The first item is that definitely at this time we have, let's say, a significant industry need for airworthiness engineers, and this is not just on large aircraft, Airbus, Boeing, Embraer, those kind of big guys, but in general aviation. So we're facing it's a very dynamic field. There are new technologies, new aircraft configuration coming to the market. We have the electrification, we have VTOL like distributed propulsion, vertical or frequency tradition. We have concepts for using hydrogen. We have high autonomy, so drones or AI, and digitalization. How do you deal with electronic flight bags? We have blended wing design. So it's really a dynamic environment. The aviation industry is living a new spring with many new ideas, and those ideas need to be safe and need to be certified to actually come into the market. So through airworthiness, you will get you will get a comprehensive understanding of the aviation industry, and I think it's safe to say that the master are the best way with which you can enter a vibrant and exciting field. I thank you for your attention, and if you have any question, maybe later.
Thank you, Marco. So now I will give the speech to Maxime for his personal testimony as well.
Yes, thank you, Jean-Francois. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maxime Albertini, and today I'm Airworthiness expert at EASA, which is the European Union Aviation Safety Agency. So I'm also working there like Marco. And I wanted to also testify about my experience with the Advanced Master ASAA and also which opportunities it brought me and also could bring you. So the first thing which I wanted to explain here is why I chose the Advanced Master. And basically, I graduated a diploma in aircraft maintenance and engineering in the beginning. And so although I studied design in the first place, there was one part of it which I was missing and which interested me a lot because I had, let's say, a small introduction at the time. And it was about safety. So how do we ensure that design is safe, as Marco was explaining? And of course, that relates to certification, which is an activity I had no clue about at the time, and I really was eager to learn about and discover and basically expand my knowledge because I did not have this knowledge and I wanted to consolidate what I learned to this point. And that was to give me, let's say, more weapons and more arguments before entering the job market, to gain more confidence and to be able to, let's say, complete my profile. And then I knew that there was an opportunity for me to basically understand better the overall framework of aviation in that case, and of course of design, because this is training that ranges from design, but it also mentions production, operation of aircraft, continuing airworthiness, as Marco was explaining. So it's very broad and very comprehensive, and you get to understand how things are put in place together. So you basically see the whole picture, and that's very interesting knowledge to gain because you have many fields in which you can apply what you learned during the Advanced Master. So then I joined the Master for 6 months of courses. So the first part of the Advanced Master with comprehensive teaching about many disciplines. We talk about certification procedures, but we also talk about aircraft design, for example, power plant or electrical systems. And we have, of course, dedicated courses and practical applications of what you have learned during those courses. So it allows you basically to put in practice what you learned, and that's basically kind of foreshadowing your future job. So you are well prepared when you enter your internship in the second phase and later on your next job. The courses are given by industry professionals. So as you know, I mean, the master is located in Toulouse, which is the aviation capital of Europe. And you have many industries there, many companies. Of course, I can quote Airbus or Thales, for instance, but you have many people involved in giving those courses. You have also authorities, which are responsible for the oversight of organizations and giving approvals. And all those people come together to basically explain to you what they do on a daily basis and professionally. So that's very enriching and very good for you because you get to know from the best. Of course, with the Advanced Master, you have this international context. You get to meet students from all over the world. But not only that, when you graduate at the end, you also have the opportunity to basically apply what you learned in many parts of the world. Because as Jean-Francois was mentioning, you also get to learn about other systems, not only the European system. And you'll find, again, some logic in, I would say, the same logics that you learned in many places of the world. So it's not something which is only applicable to Europe, but internationally. And Toulouse is basically the best place to learn about this because you have so many interactions with people who are involved in the aeronautics industry that you can basically learn from everyone. And finally, by joining the Advanced Master, you also take advantage of this reputation from ENAC and ISAE, which is something very important because, of course, in France, they have an excellent reputation, but also internationally. And it's something which has a value on your CV. So when you show your profile and explain which, let's say, that you, let's say, completed the program, you basically explain that you followed courses at one of the best aeronautical universities that you can find. So that's very important. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. So now I wanted to basically summarize a bit what I did after as part of the Advanced Master for my internship and after it. So for the first part, I was, when we finished the 6 months of courses, I joined the company for my internship, which is Aura Aero. So this is a company located in Toulouse as well. It designs and manufactures its own aircraft and was founded in 2018. So here, so far, we talk about small aircraft, but it also has now projects to design and produce electrical and hydrogen-powered aircraft. And basically, I joined this company for my internship with two main topics. The first one is to build what we call the design organization, and the second one is to perform certification activities. So what's a design organization? We have something called the DOA, which is Design Organization Approval, and that's basically an approval given by EASA to organizations which design their own product and also changes to the design of their own products. So it allows the organization to gain more, let's say, autonomy in the work they do and more independence, and also is a sign of trust from the agency, from EASA, to those organizations. And building the design organization of, in that case, Aero was a very, very rich experience, because in this area, what you get to do is basically link together all the components of the company, which are involved in design-related activities. So you have, of course, design itself, but then you have all the testing activities, flight testing, ground testing of the aircraft, testing of components and structures, and of course then certification activities, links with production. So it's very rich in terms of areas that you can work on. And basically I learned a lot from this internship at in the first place, and then of course I continued there after my internship for a few more months. And more than the design organization, where I was basically in charge of linking everybody together and building the system. So that involves a lot of, let's say, gaining knowledge by asking many people about what they do every day, and then you get to be knowledgeable about many things. I was also involved in certification, and in that case, so Integral R is this aircraft that you see on the picture. It's a small aircraft designed for aerobatics and pilot training. And here I was basically defining means of compliance to the regulation for certification, let's say, so to the rules that you have to apply in terms of design to certify product. So it basically means that I have this requirement, and I have to say, okay, to basically show that I comply with this requirement, I will do flight testing activities. And here I will do ground testing, and more and more. So you have many ways to prove that your design is compliant, but it's a very rich experience as well, because you basically get to understand how you prove that your aircraft is safe in the end. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yes.
Oh.
So after this experience, and after having joined the company following my internship, I then joined EASA. So first as a junior professional 2 years ago, then I evolved to becoming today airworthiness expert. And EASA is basically a new agency with a very large portfolio of activities, and it's competent for many things, including rulemaking. So it makes EU regulations in many domains. And that includes, of course, initial airworthiness, which is certification related, and continuing airworthiness. So continuing airworthiness is my core job today. And basically, continuing airworthiness means that you ensure the aircraft that are being operated at the moment remain safe to fly. And to do that, you have, let's say, two main activities. You have one, which is managing the continuing airworthiness, meaning ordering the maintenance at the right moment, ensuring that you apply all those, let's say, safety requirements, meaning that you have to change your design to mitigate an issue that was detected, and many others, assessing modifications of the design on your aircraft for specific fleet, and so and so. And you do that by doing the maintenance of your aircraft and on the components which are installed on the aircraft. By components, I mean also parts or engines. So you maintain your aircraft, and for that, it involves organizations dedicated to this and people. And finally, you have the licensing of those same people who work on the aircraft, meaning that you give licenses to those people to allow them to be able to work and do maintenance, basically. And continuing airworthiness today, although it exists since decades, because it's something which has been there since the beginning, especially maintenance of aircraft per se, is today, again, knowing a new spring, because you have many developments coming due to new technologies. And that is very interesting, because you get to learn about many new things, and you are kind of a pioneer in what you do. So this applies to my activities at EASA, but it applies also to what you may do if you join a company which is involved in continuing airworthiness, because you will have to work with those new technologies. So we have digitalization, where we basically have sometimes, obsolete practices or obsolete regulations, and we have to update this to allow every stakeholder to be able to basically replace paper and old processes with something more integrated and way more efficient, which also benefits safety. And of course, the booming topic today is artificial intelligence, because this is coming very fast, actually. Maybe 5 years ago, we wouldn't talk so much about it. But today, we feel that there's a strong potential to basically remove tasks which are taking too much time and which are maybe not so important in terms of safety benefits. And we could maybe delegate them to AI. Of course, it will take a lot of time to develop and, let's say, ensure that everybody has the same use or safety level regarding AI. But it's still very interesting to learn about it and to see how we can implement it in our daily activities to improve them. And finally, we have, one of our domain, I would say, is unmanned aircraft systems, so drones. Compared to conventional aviation, this is quite recent. To manned aviation, this is quite recent, but there are rules as well for continuing airworthiness on those, how you do maintenance of drones. But it obeys to different principles than manned aviation. It's more related to the operation that you perform. So it's again something else which is very interesting to discover. And when you work in this area, you have a huge international framework, because you may answer to different, let's say, requirements, or you may team up with different partners. The first one I was thinking of is ICAO. So this is the International Civil Aviation Organization, sorry, which is located in Canada, and it's an agency of the United Nations. And they ensure that the global framework worldwide is harmonized. So you have to talk to them and basically meet their as much as you can their expectations. So you are harmonized with other countries in the world, not only Europe. Of course, you get to talk with all the member states in Europe. So that means France, Germany, Italy, Spain. And basically you have to convince them about your projects and go forward with that. And that involves a lot of talking and discussions, which are very enriching as well. And finally, foreign authorities. So in Europe, we talk to FAA, you can talk to China, you can talk to Brazil, all those different authorities worldwide with whom you may team up to basically make everything evolve and push together in the right direction. So it was a summary about the, let's say, rulemaking activity where you change the EU regulations. But to present continuing airworthiness, it's a very, very dynamic domain, because it's an operational domain. So you manage fleet of aircraft, you manage maintenance of aircraft, organizations, and people involved. And this is now about to evolve a lot because of those new technologies which are being introduced. So the Advanced Master ASAA also touches upon continuing airworthiness, in addition to, of course, certification initial airworthiness. And I think this is a very good asset for you to basically go through the teachings of the program and learn about this, and then you could apply them to your next job and in the industry. So I think it's very good added value also in this term. So to complete what Marco was saying, the program is basically very, very complete. And by going through it, you may have a lot of choice after you have graduated, which is excellent.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maxime and Marco. Thank you for your words, for sharing your experience. I really sincerely believe that there is no better illustration of what the Advanced Master can bring in terms of opportunities. And I think you perfectly described the variety of all the activities and positions that can be offered by this program. Thank you again. So I will continue on the next slide, because we also would like to give a little bit of time, as much as we can, to questions and answers. So I will go fast with I will be short on the program, because basically, thanks to Marco and Maxime, you have already been through a certain number of the activities that will be covered by this Advanced Master program. So basically, we will cover the technical and regulatory aspects of certification and airworthiness. And the bullets below, this will remind you some illustrations given by Marco and Maxime. We will start with certification procedures. So certification procedures, basically, this is how do we proceed? how do we obtain the certificates at different steps in the development, but as well before entry into service, and also how do we manage, you know, the different dossiers when we want to change or repair an existing design. So this is all that we will look at under certification procedure. After that, we will go through what we call transverse certification items, and here this is mainly related to safety. Of course, safety, this was illustrated before as well. This is the key topic. Why are we doing all that? I mean, certification and airworthiness. This is to make sure that we can safely fly. That's really the objective. And here, this is more precise because this is there is a dedicated module to safety analysis focused on aircraft system. So after that, we have aircraft technical certification. So this is a series of modules that are given at ISAE-SUPAERO. And well, Joël, I will do it quickly, except if you want to add something, but this is covering all the technical activities that are necessary to certify an aircraft. So like, for example, propulsion, structure, cabin safety, fire protection, flight avionics, all finally what will constitute an aircraft at the end. Each these disciplines will follow a certain certification, let's say, approach and exercise, dealing with requirements and the related means of showing compliance with these applicable requirements. So this is basically the content of this part. After that, and this was perfectly illustrated by Maxime, we will have a module on continuing airworthiness. I think I don't need to add, he perfectly explained it. We have also something on continued airworthiness. So continued airworthiness, this will more be related to the management of in-service events, and also how do we manage the changes to a design. We will have a module also on operational certification. So here, of course, we will review the applicable air ops or operational regulations, but also, for example, the electronic flight bags, all what is in between aircraft design and operations, or something like the operational suitability data, meaning all the data the manufacturer must give to the operator to ensure the safe operation of the aircraft. So that's typically what will be reviewed in this operational certification modules. And something specific that will be, how to say, given by the French Air Force Academy in Salon de Provence for 1 week. This is a comprehensive module on airworthiness of state aircraft. So state aircraft, this is everything but civil aviation, so military, police, government aircraft. And this is a way to be introduced to the specificities of airworthiness of these state aircraft. So, Joël, if you want to add something, or is that fine?
No, go on, that's fine, Jean-Francois.
Okay.
So I'm sorry just to interrupt, but if we could just wrap up the presentation so we can give time to all the attendees to ask questions, because this webinar is supposed to end at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just to finish, okay, so this is the program. The only thing I wanted to say on this is that there is 2 parts. The first one, this is the academic semester, and the second one, this is the 6 months in the industry as in an internship. Well, so but all that has already been said by Maxime and Marco, and here this is just to show you see where the students are coming from, and as said already, this is a really international program. So I will not insist on that. It's self-explanatory. And to finish with, as you know, we are based in Toulouse, which is quite a nice place to be as a student. And also, as mentioned as well, a very dense aviation industry environment. Okay? So
So yeah, just to conclude, yeah,
Joël, yes.
Yeah, just to conclude, if you want to be involved in aviation safety, as an engineer specialized in certification and airworthiness, so be sure that ASAA Advanced Master is the best place for you. It's a very unique program in Europe. I'm not sure that there is an equivalent existing in Europe. It's very well recognized by employers from the industry, the aviation safety authorities, and so on. So, best place to be involved in safety. So we are ready to welcome you on board, and of course, ready to welcome you in Toulouse. So thank you, and time for questions.
So I stop sharing.
All right, so thank you for the presentation. So if you have some questions, feel free either to turn on your camera and ask the question directly to the course directors or to Marco or Maxime, or to write your question on the Q&A paragraph, which is open now, I think. So who would like to start?
Yeah, I could start.
Hello.
Hello, Mohamed Moussa. I'm working in Airbus. I'm former pilot on Airbus 320 and also working now on certification for autonomy, next generation aircraft. So my question is, what does this program start, and what is the volume hours per week?
I can give the answer, Jean-Francois, if you want.
Ouais, vas-y.
So the very first lecture will happen.
That will be on the 30th of September.
Let me check it very quickly.
30th.
The 13th of September. So the very last day of September, that is the first lecture. And so the program is roughly 450 hours for 6 months. And so per week, it's typically 25, 30 hours of classes or projects, tutorials, practicals, or basically 25 to 30 hours per week on the job. So it's a full-time program for 6 months. Does it answer your question, Mohamed?
Oui, yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that there is a question from someone raised the hand. No more.
Yeah. It's me, Chinsis Pedros from Malawi,
Yes.
Africa. Currently, I'm working as a customs officer and also certified drone pilot under Malawi Revenue Authority, which aims at border surveillance using drones. So my question is, your program, do you offer like scholarships, or is like open, like it's self scholarships, self-funding, or there are some scholarship on that to enroll your program?
Might be a question for you, Karine.
Yes, I can answer that. So if you apply to one of our advanced master, there is a possibility to apply to the GFAS scholarship, which doesn't cover the whole tuition fees, but which is a grant of approximately 4,000 euros. I can also send you a link to some search engine for scholarships, so you can see if you can get another one in another, for example, governmental scholarship or something like that. So I'll be happy to share the link with you. We don't offer full scholarship though.
Oh, okay. I will be glad to receive that link from you. Thank you.
Sure.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg de la Morin. I'm actually an ENAC T91, so I'm probably the old man in this forum. But I spent a very comfortable career in traditional commercial aviation, both with OEMs and with lessors. So basically split half-half. But I joined recently, actually at the beginning of this year, a company that is developing, certifying, and producing cargo drones. and it's a completely new business to me. So that's the purpose of me attending this forum. What I see is that it's definitely a very interesting masters that can be, that we should have a look as Pen Aviation. So Pen Aviation is based in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. It's actually managed and owned by an ex-ENAC alumni as well. I think he's a T93. And we're right in the process of certifying a family of cargo drones. And Marco, I would be very interested in contacting you if that's fine with you, because I know that in terms of certificate, so I'm brand new to this business again, but I know that in this, I'm really the rookie. But we, Pen Aviation, are pretty much advanced into the certification process and the whole regulatory process for drone operations. And they are working hand in hand with the Malaysian certification authorities and also with the Singaporean authorities. And I know that both Malaysian and Singaporean authorities are working closely with the EASA as well. But I think it would be interesting to interact with you if we can talk about that. And then, of course, the next step for us at Pen Aviation will be eVTOL, so unmanned passenger air taxis. And what is interesting is that since I joined this company, I have the feeling that we are like in the Malaysian jungle with a machete and trying to make our way in all the regulatory processes, which is why I think, and I think it's the future anyway, whether we like it or not, we'll have to get used to it. So I think it would be interesting to interact with you. But as to the master's program, I think it's very interesting, and I'll get in touch with you maybe for some people we might enter into this program. Pen Aviation is based in Malaysia, but I'm based in Toulouse. So
okay, so you are more than welcome if you want to contact us for any further information on how to apply, etc.
I look forward to it. But Marco, if that's fine with you, if we can get in touch, that would be great.
You can find me on LinkedIn. We have a short chat and see how we can, what kind of discussion we can have.
I look forward to it. Thanks.
Thanks.
Good.
I think we have another question. Mr. Rabat.
Rabat, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon. Greetings from Dubai. I'm the Director of Maintenance of Business Aviation MRO. And my question is there any possibility, I'm sorry if I missed, I joined this call 5 minutes late. Is it possible for working professionals to pursue this program on a part-time basis or on a modular basis, spending time on the campus, or is it a full-time academic program only?
Well, today this is a full-time academic program. But that's the way it is so far. But Joël, you have?
Yeah, so today, yes, it's a full-time program, as mentioned by Jean-Francois. So it's better to attend the full program for sure. By the way, so as a professional, you can attend the full program. Of course, you will have to spend 6 months out of your position. But it's fully possible. We have some professionals that are leaving their jobs for 6 months, and then after 6 months, they go back in their position. You also have the possibility to attend some of the modules. Meaning, in this case, you will not be graduated for the full Advanced Master, but you can attend some modules, depending on your topics of interest.
Yeah.
For sure. even though it's better to fully attend the program, you can attend some modules. Does it answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yeah. So some modules are open for continuous education. So that's also a way to select some of them.
Other questions? Please.
Do not hesitate. Don't be shy.
Hi, Dilish. Yeah, I don't want to turn on my camera, right? Because okay, so I wasn't feeling well from last couple of days, so I don't want to show my face. So I'm
It's okay.
still on my bed. Is there any age restrictions for this course? And so to do this, so is there any age restrictions? Like, okay, so what should be the minimum age? And sorry, the minimum, not the minimum age, so the maximum age.
No, on this I can answer because we have had a student who was 57.
All right.
When was it, Joël? Last year?
Last year?
Yeah. Last year, yes.
Yeah.
And he made it very well, very completely successful, no issue at all. So there is no age limit. No.
Okay. And another question is, so I'm basically a design engineer. So from last 13 years, I'm working for Rolls-Royce Aero Engine Department as a component design engineer for external components as well as for the complex designs, and also been part of Lockheed Martin for some of the flight designs. But the thing is that I never completed my bachelor degree, so I was completed my diploma. And so I just want to know that, okay, so with my diploma, that's also I finished in 2003 for tool and die engineering, not for the mechanical engineering, that's tool and die engineering. And after that, I just continued to aerospace design. So I don't know, by luckily, I just got into this field. So I was just doing the work as an aerospace design engineer from that time. So currently I'm working for ITP Aero here in the UK, and prior to that, for the last 10 years, I was with Rolls-Royce as a contract employee. So I want to know that, okay, so with this background as a diploma holder and with this 13 to 14 years of experience in design, can I join for this course?
Yep. Joël, tu...
Yeah, I can give the answer, Jean-Francois. So yeah, I did not catch exactly. Did you hold a bachelor or not?
No, I don't. I'm not holding any bachelor's. So I did 3 years of diploma course, engineering.
Okay,
diploma.
but without the diploma.
It's the tool and die engineering. So that's part of mechanical. You know, the tool and die. So it's press tool designs and molds, die casting, jigs and fixture designs.
Okay.
So after that, I did my post diploma of 1 year. That's also in design engineering.
Okay. So because basically for the admission in the program, so it's either you hold a master degree or a bachelor plus professional experience. So I understand that for the professional experience, there's no difficulty for you. So what I may suggest is that you can send us your CV showing or your education background, so that we can study that in a detail to see if it matches the requirements that we have for the program or not.
All right. Yeah.
I have the feeling that it could be okay, but I prefer that we have a careful look at your situation.
Sure.
Because yes, basically it is master degree or bachelor degree plus professional experience.
So could you please send me a link that or the mail ID where I have to send my
Or he can write directly to you, Karine?
Yes, I just posted my email address on the Q&A paragraph section. Sorry. I also posted the next application deadline for next October intake. And basically, if you have any question regarding the recruitment process, you may write directly to me, send me your CV, ask any questions. I can give you also the list of documents that are necessary to apply. I will post it on the Q&A session paragraph.
Thank you. Yes.
There is one thing that I would like to add before closing, because I promised I would have said it and I forgot it. So just in time. There in Toulouse, we have some very good companies like Thales, which are very much interested into having you and hosting you as interns during your stage, should the selection be successful. So held true to my word.
Airbus is a good company also.
For sure it is, for sure it is.
For sure.
We are going to start the competition.
Any other questions? Can you see my my remarks on the Q&A session?
Yes, yeah, we can see that. Okay, so you mentioned.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, something we didn't mention, but quite easy to understand. The program is fully in English. So because that is the that is the working language in the field of aeronautics, and we want to have international students and international visibility, so fully in English.
Feel free to raise your hand if you have other questions. If not, we can end the session if you are, I mean, if everybody is okay, Jean-Francois, Joël, Marco and Maxime.
So I think there is a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Petros?
Petros?
Yeah. You have a question?
Your mic is off.
Ah,
okay. No, it just logged out. Okay. So shall we end the session now?
I mean, if there's no other questions, I think we've been through all the what we could say about this program. So we'll be more than happy to welcome any application.
Yes, there are still two admission committees for the next intake in October. One is in May, the other one is in June. The next deadline to apply is May 15th, and the last deadline will be June 19th. I just wrote my email address on the Q&A session, and I will get back to you anyway. Thank you again for your participation to all of you. It was very complete and very interesting. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you, Jean-Francois, Maxime, Marco, and Joël. And I'll say bye now, and I will end the session. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you also to all. Thank you, Karine, for the organization, everything. Thank you, Marco, Maxime, for your
Thank you so much.
testimony.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Joël. Merci aussi.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bonne journée.
And
Bonne
thank you
journée.
all participants as well.
Bye bye.
Hop.